Hi everyone, it's Lori-Lynn, Spirit Within Us, and thank you for being here today and to any new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I feel very blessed that I am able to help others through the guidance that Spirit sends me. And so today I'm going to do the generalized reading first, and then I'll have 3 piles to pick from my deck to give a little bit more insight. And so you'll have to choose from purple, deck pile number 1, yellow, pile number 2, and green, pile number 3. So just think about that at this time. And so pile 1, 2, or 3, and we will begin with the universal reading and see what messages Spirit wants to share with you or anyone. That I just believe that the messages that need to be out there for certain people will actually make it to those people. It's always been my belief, whether one person watches what I do or whether 1,000 people watch what I do. I am just blessed that I am able to do this. So I just have always known that whoever needs to show up will show up. So here I go. Okay, so, well, and we had this the other day. So the first card that comes up again is asking opens a pathway. And this really does seem to be a theme for the last, for this week. And so it is a reminder of knowing clearly, and this is associated, it's the violet color. And so that's associated with your third eye chakra. So just ensure that your third eye chakra is open. So the best thing to do for that, or what I've learned and love to do, is watch the sunset. Just go outside and watch the sunset. And as you do so, close your eyes and allow the sun to beat down on your forehead, on yourself, as it cleanses and clears your third eye. And once you have done that, then ask for what you truly want. So just said that there's a message of some unsurety of what people really want. And in the same respect, we get what we need, not always what we want. And that's okay, as long as you're open to that. And so ask for what is necessary in the highest good of yourself, or those all of those involved. So it's in that state. If you're looking up at the sun and you're cleansing, clearing, you're relaxing, and then you open your mind up and open your third eye up, and then ask for what all that you want and desired, so that all that you do desire and require will be manifested towards you. That is within you, and it's connected to the divine source. Okay, so that's the first card. Oh, the second card is I embrace my body. And the card says, I honor and embrace all of my body. I am receptive to her needs, to her specific needs. This is very interesting because for whatever reason this morning, I'm super hungry. And first is asking yourself, or asking myself, like, what am I hungry for? Because that can always bring you a key, or give you a key to what you may be lacking on a mental or even a physical level. And if it's nothing, maybe you're just hungry. So it's taking care, but it's listening to your body. I was in a session on Sunday, and this was also brought up because all of a sudden I got this brutal headache. And one of the healers that was there said to me, ask it if it's yours. And so I did. And if it says no, then I give it back to whoever it belongs to, because it's not mine. and I'm not willing to take that on. So just be aware of yourself, aware of how your body's feeling, and embracing all the emotions, all the feelings, and knowing the whys. You know, why am I hungry? Why do I feel this way? And then that's where I personally, on that personal level, would ask or do the Ho'oponopono, and that is, I love you, please forgive me, thank you, and I'm sorry. And that's not the right order, but I would say that over and over again if it's something that maybe my body is feeling a certain way because I'm suppressing something, I'm angry or I'm impatient. And so this is really just asking you to embrace all aspects of your body, and knowing that when we ask and we put it out there, sometimes if it doesn't come exactly at the right time, we can also feel that we're undeserving. And so that's where, you know, if you do tapping, that's good too, believing that you are deserving of what you've asked for. So start listening to your body today and embrace who you are and all of your gifts at the same time. Know what your gifts are and follow that. We all have specific needs, and so get to know what your specific needs are themselves. And this card just flew up, and it is the card of the Lovers. So for a lot of people, this may be a reading that's in regards to, and we can see it in three ways. It's the card of the Lovers. So it could be falling in love with ourselves. First, self-love is the first step towards a partnership of any kind. So live in the reflection of what you want to attract, what you want to bring into your life. Always knowing that the person that you're bringing forward is the person that is necessary for your journey at this time. Being the major arcana card, it seems that would be a soulmate or a mirroring. And I think this has to do with reflecting upon relationships in general, as well as bringing into your life the relationship that you believe you are deserving of. Even if you're married or have a partner, and perhaps that partner is not doing all that you require. Well, sometimes we have to ask for that as well, embrace what our needs are, and know that we can communicate this. And so it's to communicate. So the next two cards, very interesting, because it's the same color, but the next two cards are the Archangel cards. And the first one's from Archangel Haniel, and it's moon cycles. So this is a huge awareness. For me, learning to track the full moon, no moon phases, the waning and the waxing moon phases. And when we get to know this, when we understand, because the moon is about emotions. And so it's getting to know your emotion, but also because this is in regards to the moon cycles, to recognize that sometimes we can be more emotional. There are just some days that we are. Some days it just floats off our back. Other days we become emotional. So be very gentle and kind with yourself. And so it's Archangel Haniel, and she says, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. I have really dry mouth right now. I don't know why, but I do. So know that the best time for manifestation is during a new moon. A great time of clearing is through a full moon. So if you have any stones, put your stones out or put your wishes out. Maybe spend some time. The full moon arrives tomorrow, I think around 12:30 in the afternoon. Regardless, either tonight and tomorrow, or if spend some time out in the moonlight and asking for what you want and what you need, and balancing your emotions at that same time. Okay, so it's an awareness of your emotions. The next card, and that's Archangel Jophiel, and it's clear your space. And so it says, get rid of the clutter, clear the energy around you using feng shui. And really what this is about is clearing out the old. That's the other thing with the full moon, and it's releasing and getting rid of all that crap that we don't know. Give it away, throw it away, toss it away, let it go. It's old energy. So, you know, kind of a thought that just popped into my head was, do the shakes, like just dance. And as you, sounds silly, but as you're doing that, really clear out what's there. You're kind of like stirring the pot, and you're bringing some of separating the needs and the wants from the negative messages that you tell yourself. So it's really about cleaning out the negative messages or the messages that no longer serve you. So it's a time of clearing your space to make room for the new. Okay, so very interesting. The next card is the Seven of Discs. And the Seven of Discs shows, again, sevens are about knowledge. So this card is really about paying attention to what you are investing your time, your energy, and your money on. And what you are investing your time, your money, and your energy on is what's going to manifest. So it's really being honest about what you're bringing in. So being really clear, so clear your space, and then be aware of what you are planting, the seeds that you're planting, so that you know what you want to bring into fruition. And that's an investment in yourself and your self-love. Okay, so I said something before about clearing your space to bring in the new. So the next card that we're guided by is the card of the Fool. And the Fool is the risk taker, but not in a sense that it causes any kind of commotion or emotional instability. It's a newness of new beginnings, of taking steps forward into the unknown without having to know what the response is going to be. So it's taking chances. Maybe you want to start a new business or start, you know, something fresh. This is about taking new chances, taking your life and every aspect of your life and being accountable and responsible. And so it's up to you to take the next step. Okay, so this is very much about clearing our space, opening up for the new to come. The next two cards that come up are for the Patch Tarot, and the first card is of creativity. And again, this card I've gotten several times this week. And so really this is about what are the ways that you can become creative to bring forth what you wish. And in the sense of manifesting or setting intentions, now is the time. So get really creative in how you want to bring forward, how you want to manifest into your life. And because this is a major arcana card, it would say to me that this is a huge lesson for you to learn, is to, if you're doing the same thing all the time and it's not working, why are you doing the same thing all the time? Change it up. And so it's getting really creative with that. And the last card is, in the Universal, is the card of fighting. And when we get the card of fighting, I think that perhaps what this is trying to assist us with is that I'm actually seeing someone that's being more stubborn than anything. So, and also that's very closed off. So all that you're going to be experiencing at this time is to help yourself or help those around you, but to get rid of that armor, that fighting that's going on within yourself, and recognizing where it's coming from. Because in the background, it shows two people arguing. And often when I see this card, it has to do with childhood issues, and that we've learned. There's a few cards that come up, but this is one of the major cards that does. So it may be right now, and that clearing your space is the clearing out of that childhood energy that no longer serves us. And, or if we had listened to our parents argue time and time and so often that throws us off balance. And we learn to put up walls. And so when we do that, it comes to a point in our lives that we have to break those barriers down, break those walls down. So all of this knowledge, all of these, possibilities that are in front of you, they are all significant of working through this fighting stage and this... sorry, I just heard a weird sound. Working through the inner turmoil. And so that's what is meant universally today, is to start working through some of the turmoil that's going on within your life. Okay, so now for the next cards. The first group is the amethyst right here. And I have actually chosen, just for the first group, the cards. So the universal lesson for group 1 is the card of breakthrough. So whatever path you're on, whichever journey you're on, however you see it, at this point, you're coming up to a new time. It's like all of a sudden or out of nowhere, you've learned something. And you may not know why or how, but you're being able to break down some of those barriers that have been before you, and realizing how accountable you are to your own life. And so once you realize that, you're able to be responsible for bringing what you want to bring into your life. And the card says, stay open to divine miracles and healing breakthroughs. Trust in the process and in the grace of spirit. Change is what moves us forward. And so there is this breakthrough that's happening within and around you. And it's moving you, honestly, from one state to the next, because the card representing yourself is the spirit of the divine. And so if this is a female that's watching this, then this would represent yourself, and really what you're working on is balancing your energies. It's always connecting with the divine, being aligned, clearing out your chakras, spending the time really getting to know yourself in all honesty, and keeping in that, I don't know if that's the right word, but staying in that alignment is so necessary for you at this time. Okay, so get to know yourself, connect with spirit, and this is about finding the inner peace that you have so longed for at this time. And so the shadow self is the wisdom of the sheep. And what's that? The wisdom of the sheep is very gentle, very caring, almost, I'm going to say, to a fault. that in the position as the shadow self, it's all quite often the times where you feel left out, where you feel that you're not good enough. And so perhaps this is this breakthrough because you realize, as with the card of the fighting, of that it's you that has put these, walls up, or you that have walked away from the crowd and decided that you wanted to be by yourself. And so with that knowledge, you then want to present or open up to more, because the next card is the wisdom of the wolf, and another incredible card during a full moon. And it's understanding the wolf's role, and it's really about releasing and about changing and understanding the dynamics of how we are connected within our family. Wolves are so much about the family unit. That's what's so important to them. So for you, if this is that, it's setting your priorities, that's what the card is asking you to do. And once you set your priorities, to keep along the path, your pathway, to manifest and to have the dignity and the courage, the intelligence and the skill to bring forth that which you so much want in your life. So this is a lot about manifesting. Okay, so that's pile number 1. And pile number 2 is yellow, and I will shuffle the cards and tell you where pile number 2 sits. Okay, so the first card for pile number 2 that comes up, this is the Warrior of Wood. So it would represent a masculine figure in a female's life, and most likely the masculine qualities of a male that may be watching this. Now, the Warrior of Wood is how I typically respond to him, or when he shows up in my readings. It's usually somebody that shows love differently than we are used to, or that we that we may want. And if we expect, we have certain expectations for somebody and they're not meeting those expectations, you also have to look at yourself and wonder, why are they not giving to me? Can they not read my mind? Well, sometimes they can't. So they offer differently than we ourselves do sorry, that didn't come out right. They give differently than what we are expecting. So it's just an awareness of that. And so perhaps see a different perspective in the style and how they are showing their love to you. This card actually comes up with another card. So it's interesting. So this is definitely in regards to a relationship. And it's the Spirit of Air. And so group number 2, this has to do with a relationship that you are involved with, or that is coming into fruition. And the Spirit of Air is about using your voice, and it's about honesty, and it's about truth and self-love. And it's also about knowing what you truly want. And so understanding that the Warrior of Wood and the Spirit of Air are, I'm going to say they're different. They have different likes, dislikes, or ways of doing things. So within this relationship needs to be a lot of give and take, and a lot of understanding about what we compromise on, but always speaking from your throat, knowing that your voice is important, but that's connected to your heart. Okay, speak from your heart and know that what you have to say is important. Okay, so it just may be asking a different, simplified, can be like being in a relationship and somebody never takes the trash out. Well, it's like, why do I keep having to ask you? Well, maybe because they don't realize that that's what you've expected them to do. That's just, I guess it's a silly way of saying it, but it's the way that kind of just came to me. Okay, so interesting again, here we go. We have the wisdom of the sheep. So within this relationship, I do believe that there is a sense of being alone. But I think that the aloneness has been, say, divinely inspired. And it's been what was necessary to reflect upon and to bring into light the characteristics of ourselves that are most important, and getting to know those characteristics and getting to know ourselves better, so that we understand that there's a huge difference between being alone and feeling alone. And you can feel alone within a relationship, and that perhaps may be what has been happening within this relationship, that you were feeling alone within the relationship. And so it's being honest about that. And when we're honest, so I have to shuffle the cards again. When we are honest about what we want, we have to then allow for some time for change to take place. So you start asking today, and tomorrow you have to ask again. That's just the way it is. You have to ask until, and they have to commit to it as well. They have to be able to commit to responding to what your wants and needs are. And the next card is the wisdom of the hummingbird. So there is a lot of healing that from group number 2, a lot of healing within this relationship that needs to transpire, that needs to take place. There's a lot of lessons that really need to be learned before you can move forward. But seen from, there's a lot of healing. That's the final card, is healing. So group number 2 is in regards to healing of a relationship, and being honest. But first giving yourself the gift of forgiveness, the gift of healing, of moving forward, of happiness. And if those are the qualities that you will not compromise on, then don't compromise. Because for you, it's so important to be happy and joyful and just being true to who you are, yourself, and always moving forward in light of who you are at all times. And I think I lost a rock, a stone. Okay, so the last one, pile number 3, which is the green calcite. Let's see what pile number 3 we go. Okay, again, too. This is actually, oh, wow. Okay, so I'll show you the cards. First card that came up was the Warrior of the Metal. And the second card is Warrior of the Earth. And so the Warrior of Metal is a person that has an incredible gift within themselves. So if this is you, or if this is a partner, this person actually is not realizing their full potential. And so you're being asked to look at and to discover your full potential. Partially what has been happening at this time is that there's a male spirit around you, and that's a brother or it's a male, younger, and they're very, very close. And what I think I'm getting is that there was a huge connection. It's almost like twins, which is interesting or odd in itself. But the loss of this person really affected you. The male influence, it really affected you. And so you put up almost like a suit, and it's just around your, heart. You put up blocks around your heart. Interesting that comes with the green calcite. So this spirit wants you to be free of the guilt, of pain that you may be feeling, because that's not the intention. And there wasn't an intention to harm you, but they want you to move forward. So be patient with yourself, ground yourself, and be true to that gift that you have within yourself. And so very interesting is the card of the shadow side is the wisdom of the snake. And that just means that if this is you or your partner that is going through this change, know that there is change that's going on. And because their thoughts are, or your thoughts are, very much trying to understand. And it's sometimes there are things you just cannot understand, but this is really trying to understand the mystery of life, of life, and of our basic energies. And it's also to be able to tap into your psychic energy. And so doing that, there's change that needs to take place for you to find that star within your heart or that gift within yourself to really release that. So you're going to have to shed a lot of skin or a lot of old habits that you've grown accustomed to, and really open up your heart in order to come into your being. Okay, so the next card, wow, is the Way of the Fox. And so within this pile number 3, being in this position, because it's the position of the reveal self, often the fox is seen as somebody that's cunning or conniving, or brings forth energies that, like being the trickster. But in this position, it really means that you have spirit at this time that is around you, that is really helping you to remove the obstacles that are before you. Remove the self-doubts, or if there was an issue with the passing of this person, to just release that, and knowing that knowing that there is a way forward and to bring you back your confidence, because it may have seemed that you have lost some of that confidence. And so this person is watching down upon you and really trying to nudge you and to bring you into your own, and to being proud and grateful for all that you have and all that you are, and for that gift inside of yourself. If you're not utilizing it to its fullness, that's what they're asking you to do, is take that, when we got the card of the Fool before, but take that chance to take that step and just allow yourself to shine. The lesson at this time is the transition period. So this may really be involved in it. It doesn't have to be somebody that's passed just recently, but you may be thinking more of them lately. And when somebody passes, we go through, we know the different cycles of grieving. And these cycles don't end at any particular point. And sometimes just something comes up and we remember once again. And so for yourself, it's to know that there's always different times. And so to be gentle and caring for yourself, and knowing that, you know, there'll be great times of happiness, and then you might be sad, and then you might be excited. Just allow yourself to feel all of the different feelings, because this may still be coming from what you're transitioning through from the loss of this person. Okay, so those are the messages. And the final messages that I'm going to share are from the cards of the Super Attractors. And so the first card is, my ability to receive is measured by how much I practice good feeling thoughts. There's lots of dragonflies around there, so there's lots of change. Lots of spirit around. Lots of spirit around that's really trying to bring you good thoughts, positive thoughts, laughter, luck, all of these things. So really being attuned into your own energy and understanding it a little bit more. The other thing is, where we had the card of the Fool before, and this is, the universe has big plans for me, and it's time to claim them. And that always begins with knowing that you're deserving of it. And so by taking those chances, by setting your intention, by putting that all out into the universe, it's all going to come back to you. Okay, so thank you very much for being here. If you liked the reading, let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know. And have a wonderful day. I think that's about it. Okay, namaste.